The air was thick with incense, curling in lazy spirals around the dimly lit chamber. High above, the domed ceiling shimmered with bioluminescent glyphs, casting a soft violet glow over the grand throne at the center. Upon it sat Queen Xyra, ruler of the Syldari, her emerald eyes locked onto the figure before her. A human. Nathan Carter shifted uneasily under her piercing gaze. He had crash-landed on this planet less than a day ago, his ship reduced to smoldering wreckage on the outskirts of the capital. The Syldari had found him and dragged him here, presenting him before their queen like some rare curiosity. And, judging by the way Xyra was eyeing him, that wasn't far from the truth. Her lips curled into a smirk, her fanged canines glinting in the soft glow. 20 years. Nathan frowned. What? For 20 years, no man has set foot in my court. She leaned forward, resting her chin on her delicate fingers. And now you arrive, uninvited, standing there as if you do not know what you are. He swallowed. I'm a pilot. A lost one. A murmur rippled through the assembled Syldari warriors. Xyra chuckled, shaking her head. You are a man. She stood, descending from the throne with a grace that sent her flowing robes whispering across the floor. The Syldari are a proud and ancient race, but we have been without males for 2 decades. An unfortunate conflict with the Tarvax wiped out the last of our kind's warriors. Nathan inhaled sharply. You mean, there are no men left on this planet? Xyra stopped before him, tilting her head. None. Until you. The realization sent a shiver down his spine. And, what exactly do you plan to do with me? A delighted gleam flickered in her gaze. That depends. She lifted a hand, tracing a single sharp nail along the collar of his torn flight suit. Are you weak, human? Are you fragile? Nathan stiffened but held her gaze. I survived a crash landing. I don't break easy. Xyra grinned. Good. I would hate to be disappointed. A sudden movement to his right caught his attention. One of the Syldari warriors stepped forward, her midnight blue skin reflecting the violet light. She was tall, almost his height, and armed with a wicked-looking blade. The queen has spoken, she declared. A test is required. Nathan barely had time to react before she lunged. He dodged, barely missing the slice of her blade, his instincts kicking in. Years of military training took over as he pivoted, using his momentum to spin away from a second strike. Laughter echoed in the chamber. Xyra watched with evident amusement. Impressive reflexes. Nathan didn't answer. He was too busy avoiding another swipe, his heart pounding. This wasn't a fight for survival, this was an evaluation. A final feint from the warrior and Nathan caught her wrist, twisting just enough to disarm her. He stepped back, panting. The chamber fell silent. Xyra clapped, slow and deliberate. You are not just some lost pilot. Nathan released the warrior, who looked at him with newfound respect. He turned back to the queen. I told you. I don't break easy. She stepped closer, eyes locked onto his. Then perhaps you are exactly what we have been waiting for. A flick of her wrist, and the guards stepped back, giving them space. For 20 years, my people have lived without a guiding force. We are warriors, but we have lacked the balance we once had. The Tarvax still threaten us. Nathan frowned. And what does that have to do with me? Xyra's lips curled. You will stay, human. As an advisor. As a warrior. He exhaled. And if I refuse? Her smile didn't fade. Then you may leave, should you find a way. But know this, out there, you are alone. Here, you have a purpose. Nathan stared at her for a long moment. The weight of her words settled on him. He had no ship, no way to call for help. But more than that, something about this place, about these people, stirred something in him. A challenge. A purpose. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. Fine. I'll stay. Xyra's expression turned victorious. Then come, human. Your new life begins now.